Chapter 786. That can wait until tomorrow, but we need to talk today as you'll be too busy otherwise. Enon grumbled, making a sound and sat up. Come and sit. You look like you have a lot to say, so let's hear it. Many were the stories he had thought to tell Enon upon their meeting, yet every deed required a sequence. Either deeply inhaled before staring directly into Enon's eyes and began. Enon, there is something I want to say first. What is it? Even the commander now knows where I'm from. Enon immediately understood the implication. His eyes, half closed in nonchalance, sharpened as he scrutinized Edith's expression. Huh? So you finally told him? How much? Almost everything I remember. So more detail than what you told me? As Edith nodded slightly, Enon asked in a low voice. And his reaction? Did he believe it? Ironically, Enon himself had found Edith's words hard to believe, yet he seemed poised to storm out if Kishir didn't believe them. Edith, not hiding his faint smile, nodded. Yes. Everything? He believed all that madness without demanding proof? Didn't think you were lying? There was none of that. He just believed everything. It was surprising but true. Kishir had unhesitatingly believed everything Yudhit tried to convey and show through the strategy game. In his previous life, nobody had easily believed Yudhit's tales, but Kishir had listened earnestly. Since then, Kishir had been acting based on the firm belief that Yudhit's information was true. Enon's eyes, which had been scrutinizing Yudhit as if trying to see through him, finally relaxed. I thought he was no ordinary man from how he acted even when facing me directly. Really? How is that possible? To be honest, I didn't think he would believe me either. That's what I'm saying. Enon appeared to be admiring Kishir genuinely, yet he seemed unable to shake off a certain displeasure. Yudhit spoke to him clearly. Anyway, that's how it is. So I want to start by telling you what I told Commander. Is that alright? Enon was the first entity to whom Yudhit revealed his return from the future. He knew how Yudhit had disappeared before, but not the details. Yudhit wanted to start by revealing his past to Enon. If there was one person who needed to know as much as Kishir, it was him. Fine. I'm a bit annoyed to be the second to know, but since that guy was the first to listen and believe, I guess you're finally ready to talk in detail. Then I will start. ... First, I came from the future. Precisely, I was a cavalry commander before being executed. Wait, what? What? Enon suddenly raised his hand to halt the conversation, quickly standing up to lock the door and draw the curtains, ensuring no one could peep in. He paced back and forth, breathing heavily. No, what's with this madness from the very start? Did you speak in such a manner to your commander as well? At that time? No, never mind. What glory am I even seeking here? Enon, having thumped his chest in frustration, sat back down. Grinding his teeth, he spoke in a voice even lower than before. Start again. Should I just answer your questions if it's uncomfortable? Just start from the beginning with what you were going to say. Do you think I can't handle it? Yudhit, eventually yielding to Enon's insistent demand, began his story anew. Perhaps due to having repeated it several times to Kishir, this time it wasn't as difficult. Yudhit calmly detailed how his previous life as Yudhrian Ale achieved success and then fell, how the empire unfolded and the calamities that befell the world. This account also included newfound information about the people south of the desert in this lifetime. When Yudhit spoke of how he met and parted ways with Enon, the latter remained relatively composed. However, upon hearing how Yudhrian killed Kishir and ultimately met his end as a condemned man in his solitary struggle against the disaster, Enon couldn't suppress his ragged breathing. That's all I have told the commander. I assume he might have guessed some of it, but surely there must be paths different from the present. ... Ask if you're curious. If I can, I will answer. curious about? What you can't believe or what seems strange? Enon then hung his head low. You really? He seemed at a loss for words, his breath hitching for a long time. Either thought he might be angry, but when he looked up again, Enon's face bore an expression he'd never seen before. He gazed at Either with a mix of sadness and a faint, resigned smile. Enon, it's just like you. To end the story here and then say to ask about anything unbelievable. ... So that's why you're still struggling through all this hardship here. Enon closed his eyes again, exhaling deeply. Did you want to come back for revenge? You could have rested instead of joining the cavalry right away. Why didn't you think of that? Kishir had said something similar. Yidhir had asked himself the same question. He recalled those moments and spoke. At first, I think I did entertain such thoughts. It's only natural for a human. After all, you're good at returning favors twice over. But more than that, my heart raced more at the thought of redoing what I had failed. Hearing this, Enon clamped his mouth shut as if struck. Yidhir mulled over his words. They seemed illogical, yet somehow felt all the more truthful. It was as if something he hadn't fully understood himself had suddenly welled up from within. Yidhir continued. I don't know the reason. It wasn't anything grand. Maybe it was just the biggest regret of an unfinished task. It's the same even now. Yes, it wasn't a grand reason. The mere thought of having another chance to avert the impending disaster filled him with an involuntary joy. Captivated by that thought, nothing else mattered. Not revenge, not emptiness. The newfound opportunity overshadowed everything. Who asked you to save the world? If nobody believed in you, why go to such lengths? ... Well, why indeed? Yidhir knew he was not a paragon of virtue. He had used his power for his commander, for the empire, for the cavalry, living without questioning his actions. His sole purpose was what drove and sustained him, and that was no exaggeration. But then, one day, he found himself facing the people crumbling before the disasters striking all over the empire. During moments when he was engrossed in researching ways to predict and avert these disasters, lost in problems with no apparent solutions. And then, in an almost indescribable sensation, harder even to call instinctual, he felt the onset of destruction amidst those inexplicable disasters. He was seized by an intense feeling, like a tidal wave crashing over him. If there was one single purpose for which his power was meant to be used, he was certain this was it. It was as if a command, etched deep within his heart, had suddenly become clear. This command, its origin unknown, compelled Yidhir to rise and move in a direction entirely different from before. That voice. Lost in thought, Yidhir suddenly furrowed his brow, touching his temple, overwhelmed by a piercing sensation in his head. What is this? Is that the fragment of past Kishir telling him how to relive this life?